All right, y'all. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I don't know what to say, but I'm excited. I'm excited. So we had to change our regularly scheduled program because I mean, that was a guilty verdict for someone, for some special somebody today. He got his little guilty verdict, ladies and gentlemen. Mm, mm, mm. So, oh man, I don't know what to say. Okay, I want you to do a number of things for me, but the first one is, once I get this thing situated, I want you to go ahead and watch our live. I'm going to put it in the comments right there, so you can comment and watch all in the one. So that's for you to watch. Please be sure to comment. I want your full thoughts on what is really going on right now with this world, what has just happened. A phenomenal something has just happened for the world of Black people. Let me also throw in the comments the link where you can join, because I do want, I have to get my co-host on here. So let me comment that really quickly. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are as excited as I am about what just happened. That's to join the live. All right, let's click and watch. Okay. How's everybody feeling right now? Is everybody all right? Fellas, y'all all right? I can't believe. Okay. Man, it's crazy. It's super duper crazy, guys. Man, okay. So today, moments ago, we had the verdict for Derek Chauvin in the George Floyd case. I don't know what to say. I have so much to say, really. But for the time being, let's just go ahead and watch this jam, all right? What just happened here? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought I lost something. Cool. Okay, so again, I'm sorry. Don't kill me. So we had the verdict coming in for the George Floyd case, and today we're supposed to be talking about something else, but we are not talking about that one thing. I'm gonna take this off so I don't have to hear the dangling in my ear. And to the surprise of most people, George Floyd was in a way vindicated, in a huge way vindicated, and Black people as a whole was in a huge way vindicated today. Derek Chauvin was found guilty on all three charges, which is second-degree murder, second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and third-degree manslaughter. I'm happy about it. I won't even lie to you. I won't parade around it all. I am excited about it. For those that are joining the live today, the link is in the comments up toward the top. And for watching and commenting, go ahead and go to that YouTube link, and we will watch and join in there. There we go. All right. So I have a question up, and I want to know what your reaction is. What was your reaction when the verdict came in for, whoa, pause. What was your feeling as the verdict was coming in? You hadn't gotten the verdict yet. You hadn't seen what the verdict was going to be. You weren't sure. Like most of us, we were pins and needles. Like, I don't know if it's going to be what it's going to be. So what was your reaction before the verdict came? Tell me that. Because I did a lot. I went live because I expected to be really pissed, really upset, really annoyed at the system failing Black people yet again. And then I get word that there's this, that there's this 13-year-old kid that just recently got shot. And from my understanding, there's been 22 shootings since the George Floyd trial began. So let's say that's probably what, one a day? Woo! The link is, I'll give you the link. Make sure I'm trying to get in. There you go. The link is right there for you. Whew, I'm waiting for my co-host because I got my tea today, y'all, because I'm excited. I'm excited to talk to, just excited to talk about this. I just have a nice little back and forth. Nice little back and forth about it. Did I just mess it up? Oh, that's what I want. Sorry. Clickety click. Okay. So while they come in, I want to repeat. Derek Chauvin was found guilty on all 3 charges today in honor of George Floyd and in honor of 420. Puff, puff, pass, baby, puff, puff, pass. Don't puff, puff, pass. Don't puff, puff, pass. Okay? Oh, man. 2 seconds, y'all. I'm sorry. 2 seconds. God, I be doggone. Oh, this is killing me. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I think that's correct. If it's not, oh well. Oh well. Okay. I was sitting in my room. I had my bonnet on, my blue bonnet. I had the blue bonnet on, and my jaw fell, literally fell, and I was frozen for a minute because you're not sure if something is real, and it's like let me stop moving to make sure that what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing. And what I was seeing was what I was seeing. And I smile about it. Because, truth be told, I was hoping for the best, but I expected the worst. My best friend said, we were prepared for the worst, but hoping for the best. So yeah, that's what I just said. Anyway, we were. Okay. Oh shoot, did I mess something up? Okay, people. I'm all over the place right now. Y'all don't judge me right now. Okay, I did it right. Okay. Cool. Okay, I almost took myself out of the thing. We are again talking, or I am right now talking about George Floyd case, Derek Chauvin, guilty as charged. Finally, Black people everywhere are saying, finally. Thank you. It is our time. And I agree. My goodness, it is finally our time. It's finally time that people realize that you can't just kill people, period, without facing consequences. And finally, you can't just kill Black people and not face consequences. It don't work like that. You can't just take a life thinking because you feel that life is less than yours. You can't do that. No longer can you do that. Now, what's going to happen at sentencing is going to be very crucialer, shall I say? Shall I use my French word, crucialer? Because this judge is now in the view of the world, which, he allowed because he's approved the live streaming so that the family and the people that couldn't come from my understanding, from what I heard, I didn't talk to him, but so that the family and other people that wanted to be there who couldn't be there could see what was going on, because, with COVID restrictions, they only allow a certain number of people into the courtroom. So he allowed for the live stream, and it's going to be live streamed. The verdict, his verdict is going to be live streamed. The verdict was live streamed. The case, the trial was live streamed, and now his sentencing will be live streamed, and it might outdo the freaking Super Bowl. I'm just saying, because it's people on both sides that are pissy, right? Well, there's people on both sides. One side is really pissy, and the other one is really happy, and both want to see what he's sentenced to. And I think if it's not sentenced correctly, it's going to be a flip-flop, and it's going to be a problem. So finally, okay, you're here, you're moving around, but maybe you'll stick somewhere in like 5 seconds, and I'll bring you on. Anyway, I'll bring you on. All right, what's up?
Hey, historic day indeed. A historic day indeed.
It is.
For more reasons than, give me one moment here, for multiple reasons. One of the main reasons this was a historic day, what I learned, I don't know if you saw this, so Minnesota did not allow cameras into courtrooms until this trial.
Really?
Minnesota is one of the last states in the union that does not allow cameras in courtrooms, not even for news media. And it has been that way forever. This is the first trial in the state of Minnesota that was recorded via news cameras, and only because of COVID. COVID was the reason. Because of public interest in this case, they said, we're going to allow this to happen. And I think to myself, how different things might have gone had that visibility and transparency not been a part of the
process. Been lost. Right.
And so this is a historic day for Black people. Does it mean the world is automatically right? No. But it is a sense of relief and fresh breath that everyone is breathing. I'm breathing it. But I'll say this, and I'll let you get back to your agenda. It also is a sobering day, because as I was driving home from work and I rode by some white officers, and I said to myself,
try.
Right. No, right. So what I was thinking was not that, though. That's what I should be thinking. But because I know America is still fractured, I'm thinking, I hope they don't want to use me to retaliate tonight.
Right. I was thinking that too. They're gonna. I think that too.
So I am cautiously excited, but I am excited nevertheless.
Man, okay. It's when I heard. So I was on Facebook, and somebody had posted that the verdict was in. To say my stomach dropped is an understatement.
Yeah.
To say my heart raced is an understatement. I can check my watch, and I'm sure my pulse is not its normal 59 beats a minute. I could feel my heart racing.
Wow.
I felt myself shaking.
Wow. Isn't that something?
Because it's like, for so long, you have been taking Black lives because you feel to yourself that they're beneath you.
Right. They don't matter to you.
You're still 3/5 of a person to me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know why? Because I can decide that.
Yep. I didn't even have to get permission to say that.
I can just shoot you and move on, because I'm doing the world. I'm doing a justice to the world. While you're on that computer, go ahead and share this to your page and tell people to watch it on the YouTube. channel so that you can comment. You all watch it on the YouTube channel so you can comment, and I can see who's commenting better. That would be awesome. And the YouTube link is pinned, so do that for me. Okay. So, what was your initial thought when you heard, or initial gut feeling when you heard the verdict was in?
So I was actually in a home, and this is interesting. I'm in in-home sales, so I go to people's homes and do sales presentations. I was in a home with some very well-off African-American people.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And so when I walked in, the customer, they had the news going, and he sort of kind of gave me a little check to make sure it was okay for him to talk politics with me. And
we have our little way of doing that. I love Black people.
Right. And so once I let him know, like, I hope they get him too. You know what I mean? We talked about it a little bit. And while I was going through my presentation, the notification came to my phone, and I saw it first. And I said, yes. And then my 90-year-old pastor called me. And I said, hold on, let me take this call. And I put on speakerphone because I knew what he wanted. And the first thing out of his mouth was, they got him. He's guilty. And I thought to myself, for him to be a 90-year-old and to be glued to the television following this, to him, it took me back to a time when Donald Trump was first elected. And I said to him, because he was sad. And I could tell myself, it's not going to be that bad. And he looked at me and he said, he's 86 at this time. He says, you say that because you don't know what they're capable of.
Ooh.
And I thought to myself, I take for granted, even though I know things are bad, but he's lived in America 40s, 50s, 60s. He knows what it really was like when you didn't even have to be stopped by the police to be lynched. Like, we're talking about police brutality, but he lived in a time where the wrong white people, they didn't even have to be deputized. You know what I mean? So
right.
It was a very sobering moment when I got the news. Very sobering.
And that's interesting because I cried when I found out Donald Trump was president. I was at the gym and I was bawling, crying.
Like tears?
I was crying on the treadmill. I remember it like it was friggin' yesterday. I was on the treadmill. I looked up at the TV and I was crying.
Wow. Because
I'm thinking, my nephew, my dad, these lives are in jeopardy. I didn't even think about mine as a Black woman. I didn't even say to blame myself. You know what I'm saying? But these lives are in danger. And now it's like, okay, Derek, boom. Kim, you next. Boom. This person that just shot the little 13-year-old boy, you next. Like, there has to be a precedent, a case that other lawyers reference to get what they want, basically.
Let me ask you this: Do you think that that's going to translate, or is he the martyr that they're going to allow us to have to calm us for the next few years or so?
No, because I feel like when I feel like when I'm like, what just happened?
I was flipping to my iPad. I get better.
I see. I'm like, I'm sorry, y'all. He threw me out. I feel like it's like, no, America. If he's guilty, then this person is guilty. I don't think Black people are going to be like, oh, no, you gave us one. We're good. We'll see you in a decade. Appreciate you. Bye. I don't think it's like that. Nah. You wrong. Until you realize how wrong you are and you stop doing it, y'all all could be in the same darn prison. Y'all could be in the same darn jail. I really want to see what Derek Chauvin right now is doing in his holding cell with all them people looking at him like, yeah, you the one. Yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting to me that they did remand him without bail.
Oh, it was surprising to me too.
Because that doesn't happen usually in these kind of cases where they're high profile, especially when the defendant is white. That was shocking that they did not allow him to stay out
home and get his affairs in order
for the next 8 weeks. Yeah, that was interesting to me as well.
Look, George Floyd wasn't able to get his affairs in order before you killed him. So Bye-bye. You do not get the pass go. You do not get to collect your $200. Go straight to jail.
Right.
You've been monopolizing. There was a girl named Kim Jones. I know her, Kimberly Jones. And she was like, it's a monopoly game.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all have been going around this thing forever collecting your $200. And then y'all finally let us get on the board and y'all expect us to catch up to you? Yeah, but y'all send us straight to jail. Y'all send us straight to jail.
Right. We got to take a chance.
Right. But and it's you this time, baby. Go directly to jail. Go, honey.
Right.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay. And if he's a martyr for the police community, and that's black and white police, because I've seen some black cops that are just nasty too.
And they're complacent when white folks are being nasty to black people.
Right. So black and white cops, Asian cops, Hispanic cops, all y'all cops that are bad, that don't want to, that are wrong. No, that are evil. You're evil. You're not even bad. You're evil.
Evil.
Yeah, if he's a martyr for you, then stand up for him or take his place. You know what I'm saying? Die with him. Put your head in the air and said, I did it too. And see what I get you.
They got more room.
Yes, we do. I mean, a couple of those people that sold weed, they can come right on out.
Right.
And you can take their place.
Think about that.
I mean, some of those people that committed murder like you have can come right on out. They've done their time. Your turn. You know who I'm thinking about though? The other 3 cops.
That they decided not to charge. Or did they drop the charges?
I'm not sure exactly.
Because he wasn't the only one arrested. I think he was the only one charged with murder.
He's the only one charged with murder.
Yeah.
But I don't think they've given the other 3 charges as of yet. I believe, and I could be wrong, somebody comment if you know differently. I believe they're probably reserving those charges for those men until they found out what Derica, because he's gonna be somebody's girlfriend in jail. What Derica was found guilty of. I'm just freaking elated. And I said in my live today, because I went live like express, because I was really expecting to be pissed and on Facebook. I really was. But
you had settled into pistivity.
I did. I settled into pistivity. I did. I was like, man, this some bull already. This some bull, man. Because that's typically what it is. It's either a grand jury that says we're not going to charge them, even though we know they did wrong. Hey, Breonna Taylor. Or it's like they go to jail and then they get hugs from the victim's family, or they get a reduced sentence because whatever. I was expecting to be pissed. And my mouth fell to the floor. And I froze.
Even after listening to the trial, you really felt that there was a possibility that Chauvin could walk?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Because it doesn't matter. All the evidence that we see on a daily, like the people that basically abused the lieutenant, the army guy.
Oh.
Like
it hurt right here.
They haven't been fired. Like they haven't lost their jobs. That man clearly did nothing wrong. Your body cam showed everything. You upset because he won't get out the car. And now you want to yell at him because he's not listening. You talking louder does not change a person's decision. It makes it harder for people to make a decision when they're being yelled at. So with all that video evidence, all the evidence that they have, I'm surprised it matters. They usually just brush it under the rug. So yeah, I was like, he could very possibly get off. Just like Donald Trump could have very possibly won presidency, even with all the crap he's done.
If the establishment, and I mean the white establishment in this country, who sit on boards for regulations, who have to allow different products to be sold, had they known that putting a camera on every cell phone in America would have never. It would have. We still would. We wouldn't have. There would be no such thing as viral. They literally, I think that was the the sort of kind of how they say that the news media and news coverage, national news, helped the civil rights movement, because there were a lot of good racist white people who didn't like black people.
Good racist
but,
white people.
Right. They didn't like black people, but they didn't know they were being treated like that down south. You know what I mean? We don't like them, but we didn't know y'all was hosing them and releasing the dogs on them.
Right.
Because they were halfway Christians, they couldn't go along with that. You know, I think that affects cell phone cameras and social media has had in this generation, where it's provided that shock value to where people don't mind pulling out their okay, Mr. Officer, I'm gonna pull out this camera, and you know, I my heart breaks for all the people in George Floyd's case who wished and said on the stand they had done more. But my thinking is, if I was there, would I have tackled Chauvin and risked the 5 years for battery on a Leo if I knew I was going to save his life?
Or death, because you might have lost yours.
I didn't think that far. So yeah, but that's a reality. You know, that's the reality of the type of decisions we have to make.
Right. And it sucks, but now I feel like I think there's somebody in a room somewhere like, how do we like shut down all the cameras on all the phones, because these people are getting way too privileged right now.
Yeah, Pandora's box is open. And
right.
To go back to that, the decision is for the people who are video recording. It's not a decision of whether it's me or him. I have to sacrifice me to say him. It very well could have been both of us.
Right.
You know what I mean? It still very well could have been both of us. So I think that these cameras are our best friend. There's so many videos I've been watching this week where normal people, parents, people pull out these phones. How fitting today, the former police officer in North or South Carolina, I think it was South Carolina, last name Slager, Slger, I believe. His appeal was just denied yesterday. He's the one who he tried to tase the black guy who was running from him in South Carolina.
In the field?
In the field. He appealed, and his appeal was denied, I want to say yesterday or this week. But he appealed his decision, his court decision, saying that his counsel was ineffective and all this other kind of stuff. But that guy literally shot a guy who was 10 or 15 steps ahead of him. Just
running away.
Just because he did not value his life. Because that could be the only explanation. Because everyone knows the fundamental of cops and robbers is when you're a kid, somebody runs from you and you run after them.
Right. You gotta go get them.
You gotta go get them. You know, you don't shoot them. If Cops and Robbers was a game we played as children, and somebody ran from you, and all you had to do was take out your fake gun and say, "Oh, I shot you."
Bang, you're dead.
The game would be it would be no fun. The fundamental of this thing is you have to try to catch me first. And I think there is the situation with Daunte Wright. Is it Daunte Wright?
Yeah.
I honestly believe that this lady was, I believe she shot him on accident. But I believe what caused her to shoot him was her preconceived fear that he's black, he's dangerous, his life doesn't matter. So I think she's just as wrong. I believe she should get just as much time. But I honestly believe from watching the video, when she shoots him and she says, "Oh, I shot him." In that moment, I'm convinced that she had made a mistake. But I believe the mistake was rooted in the fact that she was hyper aware that he was black, and that's what led to the mistake. Go ahead.
Let's talk Kim Porter. Is that her name? Kim Porter?
Kim Porter.
Let's talk Kimmy. Kimmy Poop Poop. Okay. First of all, he's a mixed man. Half of him is you, Kim.
Right.
So half of him is right. So half of him should have got the benefit of the doubt, right, Kim? That's first. Second of all, when you hold your gun in anything in front of you for 4 seconds, you see what's in front of you. You see that it's not bright yellow. You see that it's not a different color. You see the shape isn't different. You see this. You see the feel of the weapon is different. And at minimum, it was in front of for 4 seconds. At minimum. You shot him. Cool. You say, oh crap, I shot him. Well, you also know that your body cam is on. Mm-hmm. One. So you're not going to say, yay, I shot him. And another thing, you've been training people for she's been on the force. She was on the force for 26 years. 26. And then you're a trainer. You're training people. So you know better. You've trained them on how to pull their weapon, which side to pull a weapon from. And you know exactly what you're doing. And then there's word on the street. I ain't want to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me. Shout out to Living in Color. Kim Waynes. She's great. On top of that, you told 2 cops who committed a crime, I believe it was a murder, because if it's unjustified, it's a murder, to get in separate cars. Don't talk to each other. Turn your body cams off. Mm-hmm. So you know what you doing. Oh, you think because you said, oh shoot, I shot him, that's okay. And maybe my mind is playing tricks on me, y'all. Maybe my mind is playing tricks on me. It does that sometimes because I have an active imagination. I am an adult. However, I have a great imagination. I heard at the end, oh crap, I shot him. You did. Yes. And the sound of a high five. That's what I heard. I could be wrong. Watch the video again. Let me know what you hear. Remember that sound? That's what it sounded like in the end. So Kim can kiss somebody's nutsack and teabag them joints for all I care and get herpes on her tongue and upper lip. I don't like her.
Raw news. No how's that for raw? If you turned it for raw news, you just got it. This ain't CNN, chump.
Sorry. No patty cakes over here. I didn't even think about that. But for real.
No, that's real talk.
Let me add Ash M on in here and see what she has to say about the fun and the sun. My bad. I was gonna wear a shirt similar to that, but my background is too extra. Anyway, how are you?
I'm okay. My head all crooked.
But you look nice. I'm glad they can still see where to donate. Make sure you donate down there to Raw News No Fluff at the $Brandy LG7. So what do you think about we're talking George Floyd case, the verdict, the sentencing, and we're talking Kim Porter who shot Dante Wright.
Oh, okay.
On purpose.
I don't know if she did on purpose, but okay.
Oh no, I said he did it on purpose. He said whatever side he on. He said she did not.
Yeah, I didn't watch the video. I did hear about it. I'm done watching all of the videos. I didn't watch the George Floyd video, but I don't think that she did it on purpose. Based on what I heard, I didn't see anything. So,
quick question: you never watched any of the George Floyd video, even the first few?
Nope. I'm just so over it. But I was very shocked about the verdict. I did watch a lot of the trial while I was working for the man. I had it up in open, so I watched a whole lot of it. I thought it was good. I mean, his lawyer did his best, and I think under the circumstances, he did a good job. And
wait a minute, I'm sorry. Who?
His lawyer, he didn't have much. He didn't have much.
Derek's lawyer?
Right. Yeah. Chauvin.
Okay.
He didn't have much to work with, but he worked what he had. I mean, but I was very shocked.
Why were you shocked though?
Because it's just not the norm. For Black people, it's just not the norm, regardless if you have all of the evidence and it supports the fact that they're guilty. It's still, that's just not the outcome. And there was an article, I wish I had it pulled up. in the article is talking about how this one case, gosh, I can't even remember any of like even the people. Connor, I think it was
Graham
versus Connor. It's and how that allowed police to start using excessive force. So the more force they use in a case, that widened the gap. So if you got off for slapping somebody, that meant okay, it's okay to slap them. And then the next person did a punch, and it just made it bigger and bigger on what you can do, to the point where it just seemed like you could do anything. And they were saying however this case turns out, is going to lessen the gap. It'll start reversing it. So I think that that's a good thing as well. Because had that been a not guilty, it would have just been mayhem. Do whatever you want to people, and you're going to get off.
Right. I agree. I agree completely. Eat your food. I got my tea. Eat your food. This is.
I'm gonna do it off camera though.
This isn't the most formal of them right now. So I agree, because, like I said before, a precedent has to be set.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody has to be the example, as Jay mentioned. Somebody has to be the example for those that you want to talk in class. Remember Keto. Remember what happened to him. You want to shoot a black person, you're gonna be found guilty on all your charges, because your jury is no longer just a bunch of white people. There's no longer a jury. I mean, it's going to be very, very rare that your jury is all white males.
And it's my peers too now. Now it's my peers. We got female, black women. And I want to just real quick, the article is from The Nation. That's the newspaper that puts it out. And the title is How the Supreme Court Gave Cops a License to Kill. It's not long. It looks long because it's on the cell phone, but it's not a long article. And it was published April 8th, 2021. So
send me the link and I'll post it.
I just want to say, I don't know if Raw News No Fluff has a legal department, but all views and expressions made in the nation are those of the author exclusively.
Right. And everything is allegedly and according to and even told to me.
As Paul said it in the Bible, it was reported to me.
Right. So there you go. Disclaimer. I might need to put that in each time.
And it's not the Nation of Islam. Just because we people in the nation, they said Nation of Islam.
Okay.
Right. It's just called The Nation.
I'm glad you cleared that
up too. Let me say this real quick. There was a judge, and I don't know who the judge was, but there was a black judge, and there was a man on trial, and they did the jury selection, and it was all white people. And he said, nope, that's not going to work, because it was a black man on trial, because that is not a jury of his peers. So you need to redo the jury. Yeah. And they're upset about it. And I'm like, why are you upset about it? Should it not be people on there that actually look like this person, that can actually relate to this person, who can actually sympathize and empathize with this person, because he's innocent until proven guilty. You want him to be guilty until proven innocent, and that's not according to the American way of justice. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that again highlights why this case was so monumental in the fact that it was recorded from beginning to end, because there's so many people who are set up for failure during jury selection. You got a guy on trial for a crime against a woman, whether he's guilty or innocent. If all of the jurors are predominantly women, those aren't his peers even. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I think that our legal system, 98% of cases in this country are resolved through pleas, not trials, because people are afraid of them. And the reason people are afraid of trial is because even when you're the victim in a trial, you have to fight for justice. Like George Floyd's legacy, his memory has been on trial the last couple of weeks. to the point where so many people, when they're discussing it, they're calling it the George Floyd trial.
Right.
Because
and he's not on trial.
He's not on trial. You know, so it's tough. And I'll say this, and I'll let you get. Another thing that got me today was the 19-year-old store clerk who was trained to tell counterfeit money from the touch. Hearing him say that he wished, because he was under a boss who the rule was, if you accepted counterfeit money, it was docked out of your pay. This kid was 18 when he accused George Floyd of passing the counterfeit 20. That was counterfeit. To hear him say that he wished he never reported it, that he felt like if he had never reported it, that the $20 out of his pocket would have saved a life. And I said to myself, how ironic that the price of a black man's life could be reduced to $20.
I think the fact that you arrest somebody for, counterfeit money, I think that's a lot. I mean, you do a lot for a little bit. For $20?
$20.
That's
Like,
what you're going to jail for?
Right. And you have people that's out here money laundering. And
then how do you know it's fake? Like I've had at the church, when they were doing the yard sale, somebody came with a fake $20 bill. I accepted it. I didn't know it was fake. And then my aunt gets it, and she's a banker, and she gets it, and she says immediately, "Oh, this isn't real." And I'm like, "What?" She said, "No, this isn't real." And so she shows me the differences and how. So I could, if I would have accepted that and used it, I wouldn't have known.
And the thing is, when I used to work at this grocery store, my manager got upset with me because I wasn't checking the money. I just wasn't. And I went home and I told my mom, I was like, why would he be upset with me for not checking money? Why would people give fake money? And my mom was like, she said, honest people don't expect other people to be dishonest. So even though you live by an honest code, you have to realize that because of where you work and because that is the rules of where you work, you have to do that thing. So I say all that to say this boy is working at a place and that is his job. That is the expectation that is on him. So I don't think he should feel bad for what he did.
Right.
Because he didn't take that man's life. He did his job. Somebody else didn't do theirs. So that's a tough one.
Yeah, it's definitely not his fault. And that was one of the things that was brought up in the trial. There was no proof that George Floyd knew that it was counterfeit. And the crazy part about it, someone who
because he didn't run.
Right, someone who used to work at the bank. Another crazy part about it is this: if you come to the bank and there is no resolve for counterfeit money, if you're a business owner and let's say you come to the bank and you're making $1,000 deposit and that banker finds out that half of it is counterfeit, there is no credit for counterfeit money. Whoever's the last person that caught with it, it's just a loss to you. There's no. I think that for us to say, if anything, why? Because he, like you said, he did not run. Why was this conversation not off the rip? He's a victim of a crime at this point. For what we know, George Floyd is a victim of a crime.
Of two now.
Why wasn't this conversation? Hey man, did you know you gave me $12? Oh man, wow, I didn't even know that. And discussing what was the purpose of police intervention from the very beginning. You know what I mean?
And the fact that they came with their guns drawn right off the rip. And I think that's what you said was a good point, because my aunt, she talks about people coming in the bank with counterfeit money all the time. She never says, yeah, we called the police and had them arrested.
Exactly.
She never says that. She said we take it, we document it, and we destroy it. Mm-hmm. And that's it. So
and you short what, and your deposit is short whatever was counterfeit.
Right. Correct. So if that's not the norm to arrest people right off the bat, because you have counterfeit money and people are turning into the banks.
Exactly.
So it's just like, why would that be the step on the street? Like, why do we do? I don't get that. Like, how? And the one guy, there was one cop that says, "We're not the judge on the streets." I heard a cop say, "I'm not the judge on the street,"
But you're
but
the
yet you live
executioner.
by a different law on the street, a totally different situation.
Right, you're
And
the
then
legislator on the street.
but you're the cop, and then you just jump straight to executioner. Okay, got it. But think
Right.
about it. It would be different if it was a white person that had that counterfeit money. Bob, where'd you get the money from, Bob? We want to trace the track of the money so that we can get to the main person who's producing this money. But that's how it works. But now I feel like it's going to work so much differently, because it's like, no, you can't just come shoot chitty chitty bang bang, shooting up the world and just thinking you're gonna skate on off in the sunlight.
No.
And I think that's the most exciting thing about it. I mean, true is, and like I said before, it's a small step for Black people, but it's a huge step for everybody else, because I feel like Black people are at the bottom of the totem pole. If we got justice, that means everybody above us is going to get all the more justice.
Oh wow, that's pretty strong. Small step for Black people, but a big step for everybody. That's strong.
And it's unfortunate, but I'm gonna take this small step. I'm gonna take this small step.
That just made me sad.
Why?
That George Floyd's death could cause an officer to treat someone else better because they know the power of body cam, but it doesn't guarantee that he'll treat me better because I'm Black. That's true, and that's sad.
But he's gonna second guess it.
Not just for years, but the at the end where Chauvin's lawyer was trying to get it thrown out based on what Waters had said. And he goes on, I don't know if y'all saw that part.
I didn't see that part.
The jury, there's no way they haven't heard about the case outside of here. He said it's on TV and in television shows, and people. He said I've gotten thousands of emails about it, and and I'm thinking, okay, one, if you've got emails that you've opened, so you've been tainted. Like I thought nobody would be looking, and two, you can't stop it. Like this is the new norm. You can't stop media. And it's like how he's like, I'm sure I know they've been giving information, because he said because there's nothing you can do to stop. Like he's literally saying there's nothing you can do to not get information. Okay, so what, we're gonna throw out every trial from here on out, every televised trial, because this is the new norm. And I thought that it was kind of scary how we have come to this. This is the new norm, but I like the new norm in this way. I like technology in this way. I love when I was watching all of the different camera angles across it. It does show you how much you're viewed. And people will take a second thought when they're doing a criminal act. But it did show all the different viewpoints and vantage points and people with their phones and I love the body cams. Like they really came in, big ups to the body cam. But it's the new norm. It's crazy. And the judge is like, hey, what can we do? Like, this is it. He said, we gave instructions. All we can do is believe that they follow the instructions, and that is it. We are a go. Let's keep moving.
And then I also like that all the vantage points proved the honest and proved the liar. You're saying you was over here, but in this camera, in this camera, you're right here. So, like, and I think that's how things are going to go now also. And then this is the same lawyer that wanted to have the jury sequestered because after Dante Wright was shot, so that they wouldn't see that. and it affect them? You just said it was it.
I think when it comes to Maxine Waters,
I was just talking. We was just talking about.
Yeah, when it comes to Maxine Waters, I think she should have shut her mouth. I think Auntie Maxine should have shut her mouth. I agree. As a lover of legal, I like legal theater, but I agree the judicial branch should operate without the legislative branch getting in there. I do agree with that. But I think for this guy to hinge his argument that a mistrial should be declared just because of that, I mean, it's been all over the world for the last year. Surely her little 2 cents is not going to change the outcome. If this jury is tainted by coverage, and I think pretty soon America's going to have to deal with the innocent until proven guilty. And I hate to say this as a black man, but it's archaic. That's you on them cameras choking this man. Why do we have to spend all this money to try to prove when I think pretty soon, and I listen, I got goosebumps saying it because as a black man, that's scary. But pretty soon, the presumption of innocence, we're going to have to say, how much longer are we going to allow people who are guilty to parade themselves like innocent, hoping to trick 12 people into saying they're innocent? We saw you kneel on a man's neck for 9 hours.
We saw you pee on a girl, R. Kelly. Keep going.
Right, R. Kelly, you did that to them people. You know, so at some point, America's going to have to reconcile with that, because I think it gives the impression that all these people who want to make alternative facts different from lying, it gives power to them. Mm-hmm. You know, the whole body cam thing. Remember when they fought body cams? Oh, it's too expensive. Oh, we can't have a body cam on every office. Oh, but thank God for body cams.
Right. I'm sure somebody is punching themselves in the face right now.
Right. Had it not been for a body cam with that lieutenant who was in his uniform and pepper sprayed in his car for no, listen, if that don't scare you as a black man and you walk around sagging wearing a wife beater, listen, brother, this man was a lieutenant in the United States Army in his vehicle with his hands out of his window and was pepper sprayed. That's some scary stuff.
And then they scream, "Don't disrespect the flag," because you're disrespecting all the people who fought for this country, who made this country what it is. But you pulled a man out of his car and assaulted him. And he told you who he was, what he did, where he was coming from, and you still did it. So go ahead.
No, I wanted to say about the Maxine Waters thing. So go ahead.
And let me say, we'll go back to her, because I didn't even see what she said. My best friend came to me. He's like, "Maxine, I don't know what's wrong with your friend Maxine." I'm like, what she do? So yeah, her little words cannot be a mistrial, because I'm gonna say about 10,000 people heard her. Go ahead. Chewy yum yum.
Right, I was gonna say, do you want to mute?
I'm sorry. Oh,
it's only been 5 minutes. I wasn't gonna say nothing, but since the host brought it up.
Sorry, y'all. I'm done. I'm not gonna eat no more. Y'all done made me feel real bad.
Oh my God.
I'm
done. What those noodles from the Chinese restaurant?
No, I don't eat Chinese food.
We should that boat. Bobbity bop boat.
Do your time. But I wanted to say the whole Maxine thing. If they would have did a mistrial for what Maxine said, because I didn't see it either. I heard it just when they talked about it in the, during the trial. But if they would have did a mistrial for her comments saying she's inciting people to act out, then they need to go back to when Trump made his comments, because how is her little comment worth a mistrial? But his whole storm the Capitol was nothing.
Were you talking to him?
I just knew this Maxine Water thing wasn't gonna go far. Couldn't.
He's my bet. He said the exact same thing. He was like, if you're gonna be upset with Maxine Waters about what she said, you need to be upset with Donald Trump for what he said. Because it's basically the same thing But I don't. I didn't see black
Not
people
even the
doing.
same thing.
I
Nowhere
mean,
near the same thing.
As a black woman, Maxine Waters has enough life experience to say I'm fed up, and if they let him go and we got him kneeling on somebody's neck, it's gonna be hell to pay in Minneapolis. I think that her speech is the one that's protected. Donald Trump was talking about an imaginary loss. For people to say Maxine Waters, I mean, it did not happen. You know what I mean? I think Maxine Waters, again, as a congressperson, should have stayed out of it. But I do believe, as a black lady, what she was saying was, if they let this white boy off, when she said we're gonna be confrontational, we're gonna be in the streets, and we're not going nowhere, I said to myself, okay, she rallying troops now. But I think that and I hate to say this on a live broadcast, what more do black people have to do not to be killed in the streets?
Well, in Florida, you can't protest.
Think about that. What more do we have to do not to be killed in the street? What lengths will you not go to come home at night? You know what I mean? I posted this week on social media, and I talked because I was angry about these mass shootings. And Republicans are saying, in the face of mass shootings, it's not a problem with the guns. Don't come get the guns. We need the guns. But then you tell black people who are on the streets, who may be a convicted felon or not, that they can't have guns. We're the ones being shot. We're the innocent people being shot, and you want to take guns from us. But white folks that are shooting up spas and grocery stores and FedEx warehouses
and elementary schools,
you're marching so they can keep the guns. I'm trying to make that make sense. How can Republicans be pro-guns because they don't want the government to come in and take them? But that doesn't mean that for the black man who says to an officer, I have a gun in the glove compartment box. Now his life is threatened. Even if he has a legal gun, he's scared to tell the officer that he has a gun, because automatically that takes this up from 0 to 1,000. You know,
because what they can do is take that gun out of the glove compartment, put it on a person's lap, and say that they threatened him. They had a gun. I drive down Durham Street with some scissors in my car because when I coupon, I need to be able to cut my coupons out. I'd be scared to tell them I got scissors.
Yeah, or anything.
Right.
Or anything.
Riddle me this. What do y'all think about the new law that was passed in Florida where you can't protest? I think it's like something like 8 or more people can't be in the same area protesting, or you can shoot protesters. You can assault protesters, basically. It's like an anti-rioting law. Yeah. But what do black people do? Black people protest when there's an issue. We don't go shoot up stuff when we mad.
Yeah, I don't think it's anti-rioting. I think it's anti-protest. I don't think that this law will be a law long. I think that the legal challenges to it, from what I read today, they have pretty good grounds to say that this is an infringement on the right of Americans to
First Amendment right. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I think what it was intended to do was, in case Chauvin got off, was to quell protests in Florida. I think that now I do agree that the governor's call not to shut down highways like they did last year with George Floyd. I think that there has to be some semblance of order, and I'll even say this: marching and protesting is great, but I think shutting down the highway and for hours at a time and causing people not to get home to their families may be criminal. So I think rioting, I'm against. I don't
think there should be a guideline on protesting. I mean, it's supposed to be disruptive.
Thank
you.
It's
not supposed
the
to be
looting is okay.
Not the looting of not you always go to the extreme. Not the looting, but when they shut down the highway. Oh, I was so excited. Oh, I was excited. I feel like you got to do something different. And I do feel like if this situation where you can't protest in crowds more than 8, I think it's just a wake-up call for Black people to do something different. I mean, protesting, I don't even think that that's effective, to be honest. I mean, I like it when it's disruptive, but I don't think it does anything.
Disrupt. Are
But
you guys saying?
I'm saying shutting down the highway,
Okay.
not the looting and breaking the windows and burning. I'm not talking about that. I'm saying the traffic thing. I thought that was amazing. Yeah, you be inconvenienced because my life is inconvenienced. I'm
Exactly.
sorry
That's
you're in
exactly what I
traffic
was
for
thinking.
4 hours, but look, I'm in my skin 24/7, and it's an inconvenience. I love being black,
You
but
don't see
in
us, but you
America,
see us now because we standing
right?
in front of you. We're making life harder for you. Like our life is harder for us.
And it's not, yeah, so I like it, but I do think that black people need to do something different, or black and brown people, especially when it comes, just pull your money. It's so hard to do, but or at least collectively it seems to be hard to do. But
Is it?
I mean, my goodness, just stop spending and save your money. That'll be the biggest protest ever, and it will work.
And then you invest your money into these black owned businesses, black owned banks, black owned institutions in freaking Wall Street, whatever the freak case may be. Invest your money there and stop. I agree. If you boycott, and it don't even matter. It really doesn't even matter what company you boycott because they're gonna say, "I'm gonna friggin' Keto's barbershop." If they're like, let's say the size of Walmart, whatever. They're gonna be like, hey, y'all cutting into our money. Y'all need to figure out what y'all gonna do. Y'all need to get this done. Because in those companies, there are lobbyists and they're getting things done. So I agree. Start boycotting stuff and boycott the links bus system and walk. Do something. But I agree with protesting. It's just a step, but we need to make a more drastic step.
I think that there's a former mayor of in Mississippi. I can't remember the city that he was the mayor of, but he recently, a wealthy man, moved back to Africa, inspired by the teachings of Marcus Garvey, and said, "Now we're in a place where, because we do have um, a better position globally, there are more black millionaires, billionaires, that it may be feasible to go to Africa." And I'm not saying go to Africa, because there's some places you can go in Georgia, Mississippi, and buy a whole bunch of acres and build out. But what I think is, we've got to get police from our communities. And a lot of these communities say they have a hard time finding a great pool of African American men to be police from the community. And that may be true. You know, I look in my own community. I don't know anyone that I would volunteer to be a police officer. I don't know anyone that I'm saying that doesn't qualify either. But there has to be something with policing when it was great. And when I say great, I mean better. Having someone from your community police you, uh, uh, I think could work better. But there's got to be a fundamental change in how police view community and how community reacts to police officers. Because I'm telling you, tonight, after that verdict, when I passed those officers, my fear was, okay, these white crew cut wearing officers, am I in a situation where, even if I do something that legitimately deserves a traffic stop, are they angry? How are they going to express their anger to him? So I was excited, but I was apprehensive because, you know, I don't want to be harassed and them trying to make it good for their other officer.
And make themselves feel better. Ashley.
Right.
I think that when it comes to policing, even policing yourselves in your own community, I think first um I don't even know the word. First, the level of policing, how we view it, the authority that they receive, the authority, um, that has to be changed.
The power,
The power structure, right, has to be changed, because if you make somebody in your community the police, they're gonna feel like they have that edge up.
that's true.
I can do, I can do this. That changes anybody's mentality, even the most humble person. When you feel like you have the right and the authority to do something, you seem to treat people differently. So I think that first that has to be changed. But I do agree with policing in your own community. But on even a more basic level, I believe policing in your own house, having start teaching respect for other people. because now it's like people don't even treat other people like humans, even no matter what the race is. Black people talking to black people, or Hispanics and Hispanics, whatever. You have a certain level of I'm above everything. Everybody feel like they don't need any. I don't need anybody. You know, I have family members, younger family members who are not even that much younger than me, but the gap is so wide. I don't know why, as far as how we view the world, but I don't need anybody. Oh, I don't need this. I don't need you. I don't need my family. And it's like, but you really do. But really you do. Like, I don't care where you move to, you still need us. You still call when the chips fall or whatever the case may be. So first it needs to be a structure within the home, that it's just respect for humanity. We have to go all the way back to the basics of life first, because all what we are is just so out of whack, it doesn't even make sense anymore. And it's a fear. And I hate to use the word fear because God's not the author of fear, but it is a fear for my children. If the world continues in this manner, they're going to be so freaking lost and zombied and just void of emotion, just
Desensitized to everything.
damned to nothing.
It's funny you say that. There's a post that someone shared recently, and it said hyper independence is the result of trauma. I don't need anybody and I must do everything by myself really means my ability to trust has been injured by people systematically letting me down and failing me. And when you were talking, that's how a lot of people respond to government systems. That hyper independence is a result of systematic letdowns over a long period of time. To, like you said, people just feel like I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't. I don't give a damn, and it's unfortunate, but it's true. It's unfortunate.
I try not to laugh.
It's unfortunate, but if that's exactly how people feel.
I think to answer the question, for policing in a community, what y'all need to do, or what they need to do, is have one officer that is strictly on the community organization. So if you're assigned to, let's say, Black Bottom, whoop, whoop, and you as an officer, you need to go to that community, sit down, talk to the community. Y'all need to have a community meeting once a month. Whoever from the community wants to come in can come in and talk to y'all and express what y'all are doing right, what you're doing wrong, and how you can do better for that community. You need to know the people that live there. Mm-hmm. Just because his pants are sagging, just because her ponytail doesn't have pigtails, just because whatever, doesn't mean she's a bad person or she comes from a bad household. Mm-hmm. Get to know the community. And I feel like once you get to know the community, then you can do better. It's like when you at school and you hear something, when you were in school and they said something bad about, she ain't no good. Don't talk to her. She mean, she this, that, and the third. And then you get to know her and you're like, she's not mean. But you're basing your opinion off of what somebody else said. Once you get to know her, y'all friends now because she actually cool and those other people are just crazy. So I think they need to have meetings, get to know each other. And again, for every officer that enters that community, you need to do the same thing every friggin' time. Get to know the people, stop assuming their situation, stop assuming you know something about them, and start learning names. Because once you know somebody's name, right. So once you know somebody's name, you treat them differently. That's why they say when you get kidnapped or something like that, start telling them stuff about yourself so that so that they can empathize with you, so they can feel like they know you. Mm-hmm. And if they do, humanize, yes, humanize yourself for them. And I think that they need to do that so that they can humanize the community that they're in. I mean that for Black cops in white neighborhoods, white cops in Black neighborhoods, or whatever the ethnicity.
Right. That's really good. And I don't think that's soft on. I mean, that really is really good. I don't think that's soft on crime, but when you approach someone and they're human first, you even if I gotta arrest you, if I gotta chase you, if I gotta tase you, I don't want to hurt you. You know what I mean? I think
Right.
that it's crazy to me that police officers have this blanket ability to unhand somebody. I mean, to put hands on someone,
Right.
and it just have to be this way. I said you're coming with me, and you're coming now. And
Get out of your car.
right, and shut the blank up. And I think to myself, like, even if you have to arrest me, if you have, because I believe officers should have arrest power, but I think it should be so. That should be the last resort, man.
Right.
The fact that this Dante Wright kid is dead over a misdemeanor warrant
Because he didn't pay a fine, not
because
because
he didn't pay a fine, and he communicated with them, told him he lost his job due to COVID, and he's dead because there are humans that have been given authority by governments to put a person in handcuffs and take them to jail over fines. America is jacked up when court costs can have you incarcerated.
for murder. I'm gonna add that in.
Incarcerated at best.
Right.
You know, incarcerated at best. You know, that's a scary thing. And unfortunately, the majority of the people who are dealing with this are my skin complexion or darker or lighter. A little lighter. They're brown people.
And at this point, they don't care what skin complexion you are. So light skinned people who had it good back in the day, you are just in the same boat as the dark skinned people.
The people who could pass is what our grandmama would say.
Right. People who could pass, you in the same boat as people who are straight from the motherland.
If you don't believe it, ask Kamala Harris what all the names that she's been called. You know, it's unfortunate, man. But I think that two things are going to help us. I think those cameras and visibility.
Mm-hmm.
And I think eventually, because, and I'm going to say it like this. If there is a huge surge of racism amongst people that are in their 20s and 15s, it hasn't come out yet. You know what I mean? As folks get...
What do you mean? What do you mean?
As the world changes, like, I'm 34. What are you, 36, Brandy? 30. Never asked a woman her age. But anyway.
I didn't even hear you. What?
Yeah. But I think that racism as a whole won't withstand time. And I know that sounds crazy. But as younger people get engulfed in our culture and intermarry, interdate, and I just, when is the last time you seen somebody under the age of 40, 45 that you really looked at and said, this is a bona fide racist? I'm sure they exist, right? I'm sure they exist.
I know some. I went to high school with some.
Yeah, I'm sure
and I did not know in high school that they were the way they are.
Really?
Yeah, and I look at them and I'm like, you? Really? Wow. So you was calling me the N-word in the back of your head while we were chuckling, while we were skidding and grinning, like just laughing at. Just
I was having my chocolate meal.
Right. And it's just disgusting. But I see what you're saying, and I agree to an extent, because watching that now, I think they play it as a joke. They're still racist. They're still deeply racist because racism is taught. That is taught. So because it's just like math. Something is ingrained in you. You hear it over and over and over. 1 + 1 is 2. 2 + 2 is 4. 3 + 3 is 6. You know it. You know it. You know it. So you know how to be racist. But I think now they're understanding that I can't show it as much because there's video everywhere, and I can't be too aggressive about it. I'm sorry. Hold on, just a second.
Sure. Oh, looks like I'm hosting. I'm the only one here. Yeah, I think that they can't be too visible as racist may be.
I have to go, But thank you all for watching, and we will continue this again another day. Okay?
Okay.
Gotta go. Sorry.